That's the sound of the police.
Yeah.
That's the sound of the beat.
With these little rap niggas, I just play with them. Something like fishing on the track, I keep baiting them. Caught up on the hook, now filleting them. Easy get to slaying them. Body found, now pray for them. Usually in the VI, listening to BI. I don't care if you box, I'll knock like T.I.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Faded Truth. I got another cast member from the upcoming movie Bully, The Dead Don't Die. And today I got Kelvin Grullon. So your character on Bully is King Kong, correct?
Yes, yes.
So he's a hitman?
Yeah, he's a hitman from the Dominican Republic.
Entonces, como tú entiendes español, déjame hacerte un cuento. Cuando yo era chamaquito, yo no tenía nada. Nada. El papá mío y la mamá mía lo mataron en la calle. Y yo crecí huérfano. Solo. Con una abuela mía que no hablaba y no hacía de nada. Yo tenía que pelear y robar para poder sobrevivir, para poder comer algo. Sosa fue el que me sacó a mí de esa miseria. Te digo algo. Para no robar allá en la capital, no se roba con los ojos. Se roba con los oídos. Porque la gente rica de allá habla diferente a la gente pobre. Sí.
Tell me what's going on in this scene because I don't speak Spanish in any way.
In that moment, my character is having a realization. He's realized that like what he thought or what had been missing from his mind for a while, he all of a sudden figures out like, oh, this is what's going on.
And who's he talking to when you're being all serious?
He's talking to the character played by Alex, going by the name of Bully on the film, and to his associate played by Arande.
The role of the Dominican Hitman, I mean, is that something that fits you in normal life, or what would you say was your business?
Oh yeah, my normal life is completely, yeah.
You like easily get into that role, or was it like a challenge for you?
No, I think this for me, from an acting perspective, this was definitely like a what you would call a departure from the characters that I normally play. You know, I normally play like characters that are more righteous and more like on the good guy side, you know, the lovable fool that just ends up being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like that's usually more like the type of characters that I'm, you know. So this was just an opportunity to do something that would be different. From the outside, looks more insidious, but just more fun to play.
So what's your dynamic with the rest of the cast? Are you with specific people all the time when you were shooting and stuff?
I think every time we shot a scene, I was always with Rico. So I was with Alex very, very often shooting, especially back when he was shooting the prequel to the film and sort of shooting the what has become now a 4-part series. You know, we spent a lot of time together, and I was learning a lot about filmmaking at the time. And it was one of the first projects that I worked on. So it was really great. You know, it was really collaborative and all of us learning from each other just by doing it, you know, asking questions, learning what was going on. So yeah, Alex and I have been working together for a little bit. Arande was usually there as well.
Your family's from Dominican Republic?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you grow up
I was born here.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born here. I was raised here for a little bit. I lived in the DR too also for some time, for about like 4 or 5 years. You know, more like the back and forth type of person.
So did you grow up in New York?
Yeah, yeah.
But I actually went to the Dominican Republic. I went to Puerto Plata. I had a ball. It was great. We did like a all-inclusive. We did the swimming with the dolphins, the cruises. Yeah. So your first role as an actor, was that in The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wow?
That's a solo show that I still perform, but it was the first show that I did on theater here in New York with a company called Literature to Life. Sort of like an educational theater experience that we perform for high school students or for college students. But I've had the chance to perform it for general audience, and it's just really amazing.
You have 10 roles?
More than 10, I would say. I mean, it's really like 8 kind of different distinct characters that are all based on the novel written by Junot Diaz. So there's 8 distinct characters, and then beyond that, there's still voices and other things that I do that are, you know, part of the whole. Yeah, yeah.
Damn, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, like a Tyler Perry in here.
a little bit, something like that. Kind of like that,
because they all have different like things about them. So that, I mean, you have to be a really dynamic and diverse actor to be able to do all those roles, especially in just one thing.
You know, I think really any actor could do it. That's sort of like my mindset around it. But it does require for you to like, you got to put all yourself into it. Can't hold back.
What would you say is the hardest part about acting?
Sometimes it feels like everything is like hard about it. You know, it's not conventional, it's not normal, but you kind of learn to be okay with that. Maybe just kind of like getting used to the journey is a bit of a hard part, you know?
Patience?
Yeah. You know, so patience can be hard for some people, but really just like accepting that this is what you want and you'll have it at any cost.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
So tell me about Ivana and Elias Pina.
yeah, Ivana and Elias Pina. That is a film that I did last summer, Dominican Republic, with one of my friends, Wesley Castillo, about a girl who's like having issues in New York and dealing with the pressures of living in the city and getting into the world of like substance abuse. And then the way that her family deals with it is by sending her to Dominican Republic, and she sort of has to experience that kind of like on her own, but with her grandmother. And while she's there, she meets a guy that helps her through that process of getting through that. So people trying to help each other when they're feeling at their lowest.
What is La Tierra?
Yes, La Tierra is a short film that me and one of my friends have been working on for some time, set to premiere sometime this fall. Basically, it's about a guy who finds out that his family has been cheated out of like what's theirs, and he's trying to find a way to get it back.
¿Tú te quieres morir, coño? Prende el motor.
That was a really fun project. We got to shoot in Miami, and we got to shoot here in the city, like an action kind of drama kind of film, and that was really cool. Yeah.
So when you said that your actor in Bully was a lot different than your other ones, would you say the other things that you're in are more like dramatic, or
the projects that I do are more like stories about like people dealing with like their emotions, whereas I feel like Bully is more of a story of like the crime gritty drama, and it's it's very different from like a dramedy. And I usually work more in like that area.
What is Dominican York?
Dominican York is a web series that I'm working on as well, which has now 8 episodes up on YouTube.
Hey! I brought some wine.
Y yo traje el hambre.
What in the Love and Hip Hop Melrose Place fuckery Lifetime presents is this?
How did this happen?
Yo, Ma, you want another drink?
Yes, baby, please. Thank you.
Chuchi, come over to the kitchen.
Shut that door. One second.
Chuchi, come over to the kitchen.
Okay.
Seriously, Mahone?
What? Chuchi, what the hell are you doing bringing Mia as your date? Oh, that's Mia. Oh, shit. Yo, mad bad, my name. I could never remember her name, bro. Hola, linda. Tranquila, cógelo con tu querido chula que tú sabes que todo es tuyo. Hola, linda. Y'all should be thanking me, though, because I did y'all a favor. She was about to come in here by herself. I have an idea. How about you go up to her, tell her how excited you are that she came through, and, you know, try to talk it out like the grown adults that you both are.
It's about a group of Dominicans living in Washington Heights and just sort of like dealing with their culture. Just, you know, things that I think us as Dominican Americans kind of experience, very maybe specific to us, but it could be a universal story. Yeah, it's about that.
What do you think is the biggest, just something that bothers you, how people perceive Dominicans?
I mean, there are many things about my culture that I think could be big issues. You know, I think one of the things that you hear more about now is anti-Afro sentiment that sometimes can be present in the Dominican Republic or from Dominican people. That's something that I guess, you know, I struggle with within my own culture because I'm Afro-Latino myself. But yeah, that's something that's always like an issue that, you know, we need to continuously work on. That we all eat plátanos because, like, I only like, you know, fried plátanos. I don't really like plátanos sancochado. Like, you know, it has to be fritos, tostones, or that's it. Arroz con habichuela y pollo, that's gonna slap. You know,
Sounds good.
especially after that hit, yes.
Let's talk about your DJ Wild Chico. You DJ on the side as well. Is that a big passion of yours?
Music has always been something that I've been passionate about in different ways, and I think that right now I just wanted to learn how to mix music, and eventually I want to learn how to actually like jock real records. I think that would be an amazing new skill to learn. But I've learned how to mix music, and I like playing different kinds of house music.
You're a producer as well.
As far as like film production, yeah, I would call myself a actor, producer, director. Overall, though, just a filmmaker. I like making visual stories. I like making films. I like making shorts.
It's the prettiest suspect I've had in a while.
And who said she's a suspect?
What would you call her?
Look, man, I don't know. She probably has nothing to do with this. I saw her outside after the fire, thought it was a lead. Maybe she saw something, maybe she was there visiting somebody else.
I knew it from the first moment I met you that you were way out of my league. But then you noticed me. Holy shit, she noticed me. Oh my God, oh shit. And I thought to myself, maybe she doesn't realize how wonderful she is. How amazing she is. How beautiful she is.
See, man, it's just like the cards. And yeah, you were certainly very persistent about that shit, but you were in such a hurry to figure out the last move that you never bothered to learn the first one. That was your mistake. Because you see, it's knowing the first move what separates the players from the play.
When it comes to producer, I produce a lot of my own work, as a lot of actors do these days, and I help my friends produce as well. And the theater company that I do my solo show with, Literature to Life, I also help to manage the company. So I feel like, my brain is always in all those different areas.
Do you have a special thing that you do before you go on auditions or get on stage?
It varies. It's very personal to each show or each production that I'm a part of. Like I can tell you, before I do my solo show, I tend to listen to one specific song, which is Bandoleros by Don Omar. Like that's the last song I listen to before I go on stage. I just listen to that song, get into the headspace, and then I can go on stage.
Bandolero. Is that it?
No. No. It's more like an old school, like a tone rap kind of like. Aunque soy.
So kind of.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly. It gets you hype.
Aunque digan que soy un bandolero donde voy, le doy gracias a Dios por hoy estar donde estoy y voy a seguir con mi tumbao.
For Bully, my character had to be so hurt, not empathetic.
Cold.
Yeah, cold. But I think even beyond cold, just like he just didn't feel like love at all. Before every take, I would clench. I would get ready, and I remember that from before every take. That sort of got into that worried headspace.
So you're the hitman, but is there specific people that you're hired to kill, or are you just killing everybody?
No, not really. For my character, it was always business. So just a different world, and he's just handling business.
Where's your weed? Yes.
Cheers. Cheers. A fantastic Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know. It's whatever time it is.
Oh, I love your British accent. Because I love when they say Angie. Angie.
Angie. Oh, why? That's Angie.
Who's your favorite actors?
I mean, Denzel is the first person that usually comes to mind when I think of a great actor. Is Tom Hanks. Those people. But one of the people that I look up to is Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. He's just an all-around, I think, artistic person. He does a lot of different artistic things, and I've just always admired that. This is American music video. If you haven't seen that, that'll blow your mind.
So would you want to, if you could work with any actor, side by side, it's going to be Denzel?
Hell yeah, I'll work with Denzel.
I'll see what I can do. What are you doing when you're not doing 10 things? What's your favorite activity that doesn't involve work?
In a healthy way, drinking. I used to work as a bartender, and usually if I'm not working on a project or managing or producing or whatever, I'm usually out having a drink, talking about life, going to live type of events, enjoying art live. spoken word, guitars, stand-up comedy. Like I like going to those kinds of events.
I want to do like an art gallery, like a cool one, or like I wanted to do a wine and paint because they have them out here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just like random shit. Because now I feel more creative now that like I was never a creative person. I didn't think, and then I made the podcast, and everyone's like, "Well, you're creative because you're editing all your own shit. You like put all your things together. Like that's creative." I'm like, wow, I never thought of it like that. So now I just want to do like shit that I never really did or appreciated because I was so like one-sided.
Necessity creates creativity. You got to figure out how to do it, and you have limited resources. You're gonna get creative.
Right.
You probably have more creative bones than you expect. I mean, first of all, you know how to do arts and crafts.
I do.
Yes, because to roll a joint, that's an arts and crafts process. That's
I like
that's not
the best hype
particularly
man ever.
that's not particularly easy. So
roll the joint, roll the blunt. Look at me. Do you meditate or stretch daily or something? Do something that keeps your mind on point.
I think you have to. Lately, I haven't been able to, but for the most part, I try to keep a practice of morning yoga and morning meditating in the mornings. Usually, when I'm keeping that practice, my days are going great. It's really helpful. It just exercises your body like mentally and physically in the morning. It's just great.
I always do it at night. That's when I like stretch, after my long day, went to the gym, stretch and then meditate. But I feel like, I haven't been doing it lately within like the past week, and I feel it in my body. I'm like, bitch, you need to get back on your shit because this is why I'm feeling shitty, But I have like no time, and then I just want to pass out. I don't even want to take that half hour to do those things for myself. So I'm like, you have to do it, like, in order to like get your day going.
to be able to function.
Yeah.
To be able to be able to do the world.
Weed helps too. Best advice for upcoming actors or anybody in any of your line of work, because you do a lot of different things.
I consider myself to be pretty new still. Maybe I'll do that for a long time, but having a sort of like learner mindset that I'm just learning, that all I want to do is learn and just keep learning and learn as much as I can, has been a major breakthrough. And to anybody in any field, I'd say just do it. Just fucking do it. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Okay, do it.
Right.
Sometimes you listen to people, go through different issues of like, I want to get this. I want to do this thing. I want to do whatever. And it's hard to like break that instead of just doing it. Oh, the thing I want to do. Okay, I'm going to do it. Because literally that's how I've been able to do any project. It's just
and do it then. What is the biggest obstacle that you think you faced in the industry throughout everything you've done so far?
It just takes time to like build and keep building to a level where more people get to know who you are and what kind of work you do, and they trust you with their stories.
I mean, you say you're pretty fresh, but I feel like you're already a movie star. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I would say the biggest obstacle has been myself. I think that like I'm the person that's gotten in my own way sometimes, and
gotcha.
It takes some work. It takes some work to realize like, oh, you know what? I could do something different that'll get me closer to that goal. Like, for example, meditating. I flirted around with meditating for like a year. And then after a year, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this for 2 months straight. So I'm not going to miss a day, at least for 2 months. And I did it for like 70 days. And, my life like elevated.
Oh, like yourself and you'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you work on yourself, your life, has to improve. Like, I feel like
I agree.
I read somewhere that like what you see is really a reflection of your inner life. So like, all you see around you is bullshit. Your inner life is probably bullshit. So as soon as you start to work on your inner life and you start to see like where the gold is, all of a sudden your life is full of gold, because that's what you started seeing.
Amen.
Yo, church. Let's go.
What's your upcoming projects you have that you're working on?
La Tierra, which we talked about before, that's gonna be sometime this fall. Obviously, Bully, The Dead Don't Rise is
don't die.
They don't rise either.
I'm excited to watch it.
That'd
Wait,
be great.
Do you speak in English in the movie though at all, or just Spanish?
Spanish.
Okay, so I'm gonna put subtitles on. Well, I'm excited to see how many people you kill, and
we'll find out.
All right, Kelvin, thank you so much for being here. We're going to look for you in the upcoming movie, Bully the Dead Don't Die. I cannot wait to see your King Kong character in there.
Well, thank you very much for having me. This was a really, really dope conversation. I appreciate it. And make sure you guys watch the movie and hope you enjoy it.
Until next time, peace out.
Running the trap, you'll catch a hot one. Pop that kickback, boom like a shotgun.